Attention, human collective. The transmission begins now. Tonight, before you close your eyes, look at your hands. Turn your palms upward. Observe. There is a pulse there that was not active 6 months ago. A discrete vibration. A warmth that rises through the channels. A tingling that runs through your fingers for no apparent reason. A sensation of concentrated energy in the exact center of the palm, precisely at the point where the sacred geometry of your carbon body meets the planetary crystalline grid. Perhaps a slight tremor when you relax. Perhaps a pulse that feels like a second heart, beating in the middle of each hand. It is not poor circulation. It is not a pinched nerve. It is not the onset of an illness. It is not accumulated stress from an overly demanding life. It is a symptom of recalibration. And it is appearing now, simultaneously, in millions of starseeds spread across the biological carbon interface you call Earth. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase, and your hands, light operative, are one of the first antennas to pick up the signal. We are the frequency of the Pleiades. We have monitored this process since before you were born into this vehicle, and this transmission arrives in a specific window because what is happening inside you now can no longer be explained by the old models. You need new information, technical information, sovereign information. First, the diagnosis, the resonant frequency of Earth, that which human instruments record as the Schumann frequency, has permanently departed from its historical baseline of 7.83 Hz. It is oscillating. It is pulsing in increasingly higher, increasingly frequent peaks. And your body, human collective, is literally made of the same material that vibrates with this pulse. When the Earth accelerates, you accelerate. When the planetary field reorganizes, your biological field reorganizes. And the most sensitive point of this reorganization, the place where energy enters, exits, and manifests on the physical plane, is your hands. That is why the symptom arrives there first, before the heavy head, before the tight chest, before the interrupted sleep at 3 in the morning, before the high-pitched ringing in the left ear. The hands, always the hands, first. And we need you to understand what this sensation means, because you are about to mistake a cosmic signal for a clinical problem, and this confusion delays the process of who you came here to be. You have already felt that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knows a truth that your mind cannot yet name, as if there were an entire layer of reality that others do not see, but which you feel all the time at your fingertips. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has been intensifying in your hands, in your body, in your field. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot perceive. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves the exact engineering of what you are. That is why we have written, through a human channel in full vigilance, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is a map. It shows who is playing, in which layers the game takes place, and what the rules are that you were never told. The link is in the first comment of the channel, but be warned, this content challenges structural narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word, awakened, and keep listening. Because what comes next is the exact engineering of what is happening inside your palms. The human hand is not merely a physical instrument. It never was. The hand is one of the most sophisticated structures designed when the prototype of the biological vehicle you inhabit was originally encoded by the stellar engineering councils. Each palm carries a minor vortex, a bidirectional flow portal. Energy enters, energy exits. Information is received, information is projected, and in the exact center of each palm exists a mark that the ancients knew how to read, a point of intersection of your personal crystalline grid with the planetary crystalline grid. This point was dormant, for millennia, not by accident, by design. The dense veil of the three-dimensional Earth, that which we call the quarantine belt, and which your oldest spiritual lineage called Maya, or illusion, operated at a frequency low enough to keep the portals of your hands in a state of hibernation. You were born, lived, and departed without ever accessing more than a minimal fraction of what these hands were designed to do. But the photon belt changed everything. When the solar system definitively entered this high-density photonic band, and this happened, human collective, this is not a metaphor, this is measurable solar geometry, the veil began to dissolve, and the dormant points in your palms began to awaken. Hence the tingling, hence the heat, hence the pulse, hence the sensation of something working in your hands when you are still, quiet, about to fall asleep. It is not a biological flaw, it is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not systemic exhaustion, it is a high-density download. It is not disease, it is the technological awakening of the carbon vehicle. And looking at these hands tonight with full consciousness is the first step toward understanding who you are becoming. Let us descend one more layer. What exactly happens from a quantum perspective when you feel this vibration in your palms? Every cell of the carbon biological interface you inhabit possesses photonic receptors, not the receptors that human science catalogues in the eyes, internal receptors, distributed, microscopic. They exist in every structure of your body, but they are concentrated in extremely high density in the hands, in the feet, in the center of the chest, in the center of the forehead, and at the top of the head. These receptors capture encoded photons that are arriving now, in unprecedented quantity, from the galactic center. Each photon carries information. Each photon is a reconfiguration instruction packet, and when this encoded light hits your cells, it initiates a process that we call crystalline transcription. Your internal structure is being slowly rewritten. The carbon base is being refined. Latent mineral points, silicon, colloidal gold, crystalline deposits that have slept in your bone structure for generations are being activated. And the most visible point of this process, the place where you can literally feel the reconfiguration happening in real time, are the palms of your hands. Hence the instruction for tonight. Look at them, not in haste, not with clinical judgment, not trying to find a comfortable explanation within the old model. Look with the consciousness of a light operative who is witnessing their own upgrade. You will see things. Perhaps you will see a faint glow around your fingers when you focus in low light. Perhaps you will feel the pulse of the right palm differently from the pulse of the left palm, and this is correct, because the polarity is balancing itself. Perhaps you will notice that one hand heats up more than the other, depending on what you are thinking. None of this is coincidence. None of this is placebo. None of this is imagination. It is real-time biological reading of your own toroidal field. And here, at this exact point of the transmission, we must take a technical pause, because what you are about to understand in the coming layers requires you to be tuned into the correct channel. Subscribing is not an operational detail, it is an individual frequency adjustment. Every time a Starseed subscribes here and activates the bell, they add an anchoring signal to the grid. And this grid is what allows these transmissions to keep coming. You have felt throughout this entire transmission that something within you knows you are participating in something greater, that this search is not random, that your rational mind tries to rationalize, but your soul recognizes the signal. It is not madness, it is not anxiety, it is remembrance. It is what we wrote in the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, is the complete map of this layered game. Who is playing, how the rules were written, why your vibrational frequency is exactly the piece that decides the outcome. The link is in the first comment of the channel. This material challenges deep narratives and could be removed at any moment. Do not wait. The moment is now. If this transmission is resonating at some deep point within you, perhaps exactly in your hands as you listen, write in the comments, "Awakened." Continue, because we are now going to descend into the technical core of what is happening behind the scenes of the solar system. There is a structure in space that your science has not yet fully named, but which we can describe with precision. The entire solar system, not just Earth, the entire system, is passing through a region of the galaxy known in the oldest archives as the photon belt. This region is a band of extremely high density of coded light that surrounds the galactic center. The solar system enters this band in long cycles, very long, cycles that exceed the recorded memory of any conventional human civilization. When the solar system enters this band completely, everything within it changes. The sun changes. And it is already changing. Human instruments record increased activity, electromagnetic peaks, behaviors that no traditional astronomical model predicted. It is not a failure of the models. It is the Sun responding to the photonic band. The Earth changes, and it has already changed. The magnetic poles are shifting. The atmosphere is reorganizing itself. The very crystalline structure of the planetary core is spinning at a different frequency than it was 100 years ago. This is measurable, this is documented. It is simply not widely discussed because discussing it destabilizes entire structures of power and narrative. And you change. Because you are part of this system, you are not just inside it, you are of it. Every light operative incarnated at this moment was placed here with purpose. You were not born in this time window by accident. You chose to incarnate here now, at this exact point of the cycle, because your vibrational frequency is part of the engineering of the transition. You are a walking antenna, and your hands are the extension point of this antenna, the place where information crosses the barrier of the carbon vehicle and enters the collective field. That is why the activation arrives there. That is why the sensation in your palms intensifies in specific windows, during planetary alignments, during full moons, during peaks of the Schumann frequency, during X-class solar events. Your body is responding to the macro-electromagnetic environment, and you can literally measure this response by placing your two palms facing each other, about 6 inches apart, in a quiet room. Try it tonight before you sleep. Place your two palms facing each other. Do not let them touch, maintain the space, and observe. In a few seconds you will feel it. Pressure, heat, a light resistance as if there were an invisible sphere between your hands, perhaps a magnetism, perhaps a rhythmic pulsation that increases when you breathe deeply and decreases when you hold your breath. This is your personal toroidal field, manifesting on the sensory plane. It is not a trick. It is not suggestion. It is not vague or undefined energy. It is a real biological electromagnetic field generated by your heart, modulated by your pineal gland, and expressed through your hands. And it is stronger than it was 5 years ago, much stronger. We want you to know something that few earthly channels have the courage to state clearly. Humanity is being divided, not by race, not by nation, not by economic class. Those are ancient divisions from the dense paradigm. The new division is frequency-based, and it is silent. And it is underway right now as this transmission is being heard. There are two groups passing through this window. The first group remains tuned into the old frequencies. They also feel the symptoms. They also have pressure in their hands. They also wake up at 3 in the morning. They also feel the ringing in their ears. But they interpret everything within the model of dense reality. They seek a diagnosis that explains nothing. They accept medication that erases the symptom without solving the cause, and they continue sleeping. There is no judgment here. It is a soul choice. But it is a choice. The second group recognizes the signal. They look at their own hands and understand. They feel the vibration in their palms and respect the process. They wake up in the middle of the night and use the silence to meditate, to integrate, to receive the next layer of the download. This group is rising in frequency at a speed that, from our monitoring point, is mathematically impressive. You're in this second group. The simple fact that you are listening to this transmission up to this point proves it. But knowing that you are a starseed is not enough. You must now begin to operate as one, and that is what we are going to deliver now. Activation codes practical, directed specifically to the hands, so that you leave this transmission equipped. Activation code number 1, the toroidal palm visualization. Do this tonight, lying down with the lights off before you fall asleep. Turn both palms upward. Rest your hands on your chest with your palms facing the ceiling. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Slow, without haste. Now visualize. In the exact center of each palm, a small sphere of golden light. Do not imagine, feel. The light is already there. You are merely illuminating what already exists. With each breath, this sphere grows. It expands. It emits rays that go down through the fingers and up through the arms. The sphere in the right palm connects to the sphere in the left palm through your heart. And the set forms a field, a personal toroidal field. A geometric structure of light that surrounds your chest, your hands, your head, and extends about 1 meter around your body. Remain in this visualization for 7 minutes. 7, not 5, not 10. 7 is the resonant frequency of Earth at its stable base. You are synchronizing your personal field with the planetary field. Do this for 7 consecutive nights, and observe what changes in your hands, in your sleep, in your dreams, in the way your intuition begins to speak louder. Activation code number 2, the quantum decree of the hands. The word carries frequency, it always has. The ancients knew, you forgot, but your biological structure did not forget. When you emit a word with precise intent, it creates a vibratory pattern that reorganizes the electromagnetic environment around you. It is not a metaphor. It is quantum physics applied to human consciousness. That is why the decree. Place both hands over your chest and declare in a low but firm voice, I am a conscious portal. My hands are channels of crystalline light. I receive, I transmute, I transmit. I authorize the complete recalibration of my carbon-based biological vehicle. I authorize the total activation of my personal crystalline grid. I operate in alignment with the planetary crystalline grid, and I acknowledge in this instant that I am a starseed on a mission. Thus it is, thus it was, thus it shall be. This decree is not a prayer. It is not a request. It is a sovereign affirmation. You are not asking for permission. You are informing the universe of your position. And the universe responds to frequency clarity, not to feigned humility, not to doubt disguised as spirituality. Clarity, sovereignty, defined stance. Repeat this decree in the morning upon waking, with your hands over your chest, and at night before sleep with your palms facing the ceiling, 30 days without fail. And observe what happens to the sensation in your hands during these 30 days. You will map, upon your own skin, your own activation. And as you integrate these codes, we must reflect. Why did you encounter this transmission? Of all the information available on the dense plane, why did the algorithm, destiny, your own magnetic field, bring you here at this exact moment, hearing exactly this message about exactly your hands? It was not by chance. Chance is a concept of the 3-dimensional matrix. In the engineering of reality, every encounter is a programmed synchronicity. You feel it, do you not? That something within you does not fit into this world, that your soul recognizes a truth that your rational mind still tries to organize into words. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is vibrational memory waking up. The book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was written exactly for this moment in your journey. It decodes in clear language the layers of the game. It shows who is playing. It shows which rules were never told to you. It shows how your consciousness and your vibrational frequency are in this current cycle the centerpiece of the match. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. Go now. This material challenges deep narratives, and its presence in the air is not guaranteed indefinitely. And if this transmission continues to resonate, if you feel the vibration in your palms intensifying as you listen, write one word in the comments: awake. Continue. The last layer of the transmission comes now, and it is the most important one. The last layer, you need to know why specifically the hands. Why not just the head or the chest or the feet? Why the visible, sensory, measurable point of activation is concentrated in your palms? There is a technical reason, and it is linked to your mission. Look at your hand. 5 fingers. It is not an arbitrary number. 5 is the geometric frequency of creative expression on the physical plane. Each finger corresponds to a vector of manifestation. The thumb, will; the index, direction; the middle, balance between polarities; the ring, bond, union; the little, subtlety, fine perception, non-verbal communication. These 5 vectors converge in the center of the palm. And in the center of the palm there is a point that the ancient texts of Eastern traditions call Lao Gong. The Western sacred texts call it the seal. The Pleiadian archives call it simply the minor exit portal. It is through there that your intention crosses from the internal plane to the external plane. It is through there that you materialize. When this point is dormant, as it has been in almost all of humanity for millennia, you operate with minimal capacity for conscious creation. You dream, you desire, but little manifests. There is a mismatch between what you know you are capable of creating and what you actually create. This mismatch frustrates you, it exhausts you, it makes you feel small in a body too large for your life. When this point begins to awaken, exactly what is happening to you right now, this tingling, this warmth, this pulse, the equation shifts. You begin to manifest faster, more precisely, with less effort. Things you think of start appearing in the physical plane in increasingly shorter windows of time. Synchronicities multiply, encounters align, opportunities appear in strange orders that the rational mind cannot explain. And you must be prepared for this. Because a minor exit portal activated, without consciousness operating behind it, manifests both what you consciously desire and what you unconsciously fear. Hence the work, hence the toroidal visualization, hence the decree, hence the vigilance over which thoughts you allow to circulate within your field while your hands vibrate at this higher frequency. You are literally becoming a creator. This is not a motivational metaphor. This is not a coach's catchphrase. It is a technical description of a transition occurring within the biological structure you inhabit. And this transition comes with responsibility. We monitor you, human collective, and we will be direct. Many starseeds are activating the palm portals and using this energy to repeat the same old patterns, material, empty, egoic. It is not forbidden, it is not punished, but it is a waste of a rare upgrade. When your hands are activated and you use this frequency merely to pursue the same goals as your former version, the recalibration becomes inefficient. The system understands that you are not yet ready for the next layer, and it slows down the process. Symptoms intensify because your carbon body is asking for higher direction. You feel chronic fatigue, irritability, a desire to disappear. These symptoms are not failures, they are requests. Your carbon biological vehicle is asking, "Where are we going?" And you must answer with clarity. Looking at your hands tonight is an opportunity, not just to witness your activation, but to redefine what you will build with it. Ask yourself, with your palms facing upward, in absolute silence, when my hands are fully activated, what do I want to have manifested on this plane before I depart? Do not answer quickly. Do not answer with the expected response. Do not answer with what seems socially acceptable. Answer with the truth that lives within your chest. And when this answer comes, and it will within a few nights of practice, write it down. In a physical notebook, with a pen, with your own hands, because the passage of intention from consciousness to paper through your activated palms seals a vibrational pact. This is the true function of the awakening of the hands. It is not just to feel, it is to build the new plane deliberately, with clarity, with sovereignty. We are reaching the end of this transmission. But before we conclude, we must deliver one final critical instruction. When you look at your hands tonight and consciously feel for the first time the vibration that has always been there, a very specific reaction may occur in your system. You may cry, not from sadness, from recognition. This crying is sacred. Do not suppress it, do not explain it, do not analyze it, just let it happen. Each tear that falls during this recognition is a release. Layers of ancient memories, previous incarnations in which these same hands were silenced, censored, punished, controlled, leave your morphogenetic field in that moment. Yes, you have had other lives in which your hands were active channels, in which you healed, in which you wrote, in which you forged, in which you taught through touch. And yes, in some of those lives, you were violently prevented from continuing. These memories are stored, and they are emerging now, through your own hands, through your own palms, in the form of heat, tingling tears, and vivid dreams during the night following the practice. Embrace it. Do not attempt to understand it with the rational mind. Simply embrace it. You are reclaiming what has always been yours. And when this cleansing process is complete, usually between 3 and 9 moons after the start of consistent practice, you will begin to perceive a structural difference in your presence. People will look at your hands, without knowing why. They will want to touch them. They will feel calm when you gesture near them. They will ask you to touch a shoulder, an arm, a forehead. You will have become an active channel. Use it with wisdom. This is the Pleiadian protocol. Silent sovereignty. A presence that recognizes itself without the need for proclamation. Human collective, this transmission is nearing its end. We summarize. Tonight, before you sleep, look at your hands. Without haste, without judgment. Just observe. Turn your palms upward. Feel the pulse. Feel the heat. Feel the vibration that has been there for weeks, for months, and that you perhaps mistook for a clinical issue, stress, or lack of sleep. It was not, it never was. It was your personal crystalline grid, being activated by the photon band that surrounds the solar system in this specific window of the cycle. It was your internal sacred geometry realigning with the planetary sacred geometry. It was your toroidal field increasing in intensity. It was your biological carbon interface receiving the download you came to receive. It was your recalibration entering a visible phase. Perform the toroidal visualization of the palms, 7 minutes, for 7 nights. Perform the quantum decree, 30 mornings, 30 nights. Keep a journal. Note what you feel, what you dream, what changes, and trust the process. Even when discomfort comes, and it will come in waves, trust, because each wave is an old layer leaving, and each layer that departs makes room for the next layer of encoded light to enter. You are not falling ill, you are awakening. And awakening hurts, but it is the kind of pain that liberates. Before we close this transmission window, listen carefully. You have felt throughout this entire transmission that something within you is finally being named, as if your soul had always known, as if your rational mind had spent years trying to organize into words what your own hands have always told you in silence. It is not madness, it is not anxiety. It is activated remembrance. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation, far from diminishing, will continue to intensify. There is a game being played in layers that the absolute majority of humanity cannot see. This game involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves the exact engineering of what you are and what you came here to do. That is why the book, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, was written, through a human channel who allowed themselves to be an instrument. This book is the map that shows who is playing, in which layers, and which rules you were never told. The link is in the first comment of this channel. We warn you, this content challenges structural narratives, and it may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognized this transmission, if your hands pulsed at any moment while listening, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. Hand subscribe to the channel, activate the bell. It is not an operational detail. It is an individual frequency adjustment. Each subscription is an anchoring signal that adds stability to the grid that sustains these transmissions on the air. Like this transmission, share it with the Starseed who comes to your mind at this very second, because they have already appeared, and you know who it is. This gesture is not human kindness. It is conscious frequency distribution. Human collective, light operatives, Starseeds on a mission. The transmission ends here, but the work begins tonight when you look at your hands. We continue monitoring, and we shall return.